So, ladies, I have another devotion for both of you, and I call this Applying the Gospel Practically. It stands to reason as believers that the core of Christianity, the sole reason why Christ came to earth, was primarily to earn our way into heaven for us through his death and resurrection. I mean, God paid the price. And I think it's this reality and this reality alone that shames us, if we're honest, in all of our hard work and all of our plans and schemes that we have. Because at the end of the day, when we stand before God, we have to admit that it's on account of what he did on the cross that we gain admittance into heaven. And really, it has nothing to do with us. The only thing I guess that we would do, if you could call it that, would be to accept the reality of the death of Christ. And I think so often, due to the fact that, we're fallen human beings from the womb to the tomb, and the fact that we are finite, unlike God who is infinite, we have a tendency to compartmentalize things in our lives, even in the church. And one of the things that we compartmentalize perhaps more than any other would be the gospel. We give ourselves over to the reality that we're saved by grace through faith. That's Ephesians 2, 8, and 9. But then when we turn around and deal with our fellow human beings, whether we're parishioners or elders or deacons, pastors, employers, church employers, whoever we might be, we tend to deal with people in more of an expedient fashion than in a gospel-related fashion. And I think it's really the word expediency that we have to watch out for, or expedient, because that's the warning sign that maybe we're not applying the gospel practically in our lives and in dealing with the lives of other people. God doesn't call us to be expedient as believers. He calls us to be gospel-oriented with believers. And that means, I think, to a great extent, that we're vulnerable. I mean, Christ was vulnerable on the cross. And so we as believers have to be vulnerable with those around us, even as employers. And that's difficult. It means that maybe churches are more vulnerable than they want to be. It means maybe that employers and businesses are more vulnerable than they want to be. Maybe we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously. Maybe we need to take Christ seriously. I mean, after all, he said, don't just forgive people 7 times, right? That was more or less Jewish law, but 7 times 70. See, that's the gospel practically implemented in our lives in the way we treat other people. God forgave us 7 times 70 on the cross. We do the same. God deals with us in that fashion on the cross. So we do the same, regardless of what our walk or what our position is in life. We deal with people not as things, which of course is expedient, but as human beings made in the image of God. God bless you both.